Prepare for a rush of action. It's Rush Hour on Fox Sports Net.
So Fusion's down in Laguna, and we hooked up with Hans Rey, legend in mountain biking. No way. Did you see him bunny hop that? No way. Did he just ride that wall?
So you sang to me. So you sang to me.
I'm Hans Rey. I'm here in Laguna Beach, California. I'm 37 years old and I'm a former trials biking world champion.
I grew up in Germany and we had this motorcycle trials club. And when I was 12, I wanted to have a motorcycle, and I guess my parents thought I was maybe too young, or it was too expensive or too dangerous. So me and my cousin and a bunch of friends started riding bicycles, and before we knew it, we had like 50 guys together in our hometown. We all like converted our regular bikes or little Stingrays into like trials bikes, took the fenders off and stuff. And before we knew it, we had a big crowd, and then later we found out that there were other guys in northern Germany also doing competitions already and stuff. And that was kind of the beginning of the sport. We didn't invent it by any means. Yeah, it's just the Hans Rey Adventure team, and it actually has very little to do with racing. And I kind of wanted to, was one of the reasons I started this. I wanted to get a little bit away from the racing scene. I raced for 20 years. It's about combining the extreme biking with different cultures and with a modern day adventure. That means we go on search for something hysterical or something historical.
I've been traveling over 60 countries in the world, and some of my adventures were in China, Bolivia, Borneo. I did a big Transalp trip. I went to Egypt, crossed the Sinai Peninsula. Last year I went to Cuba, in the footsteps of Che Guevara.
Viva la Cuba.
I know the song, man.
So we crossed Cuba and went to Cuba's highest point.
We made it!
Gran Pietra, wow, that was a workout.
We've already been going for over an hour, just pushing uphill. It's a tough one. Alright. Good job, Tarek.
Yeah, we're always looking for new challenges, you know, and something mysterious when we're out on those trips. Riding in a ski resort named Ischgl a lot lately. They have super cool stuff. But I also just got back from Whistler, British Columbia, and they have this bike park up there, and that is unbelievable. I mean, these guys are almost 3 years ahead of the rest of the world. They're taking the whole biking thing to a new level. Up in Whistler, they got everything. They got this bike park, they got the lift operation. They take your bike up to the top, and once you get to the top, you have like 20 different options of trails they go down, and they all intersect, so you can start on one trail and finish on another one. I think it's super cool where mountain biking has come to. I mean, even within free riding, you probably have like 10 different subcultures nowadays. And it's cool because the bottom line is everybody has fun. If you only want to have one bike, you have to make a compromise, and that compromise might be the 5-inch front and rear travel free ride bike, which you also could take on an 8-hour epic. But once you're on that 8-hour epic, you probably would wish you just had a cross-country bike, a lighter bike. And the same if you race down a downhill, then you wish, well, this free ride bike is pretty good, but I wish I had a full-on downhill machine. So you have to set compromises and stuff, but that's how it is.
Means a lot from a guy who's traveling the globe on a daily basis. Coming up, we're going to check out the new free ride parts group from Shimano.
This is Rush Hour.
I just got back from Whistler, where we launched a new Shimano Gruppo, the Saint Gruppo, which is a specially designed component Gruppo for downhilling and free riding. The point is to make the stuff super beefy and sturdy, make it also stiff, and so it's durable and can take some abuse. Like this derailleur, for example, you can see how it almost defined like a skid blade. When you hit a rock, instead of just ripping it off, you maybe slide over it, and you can take a beating when the bike falls over. We have this new hub here with super bearings. It has a 10 millimeters through axle, and the interesting thing is the derailleur actually mounts to that axle, so you don't have to worry about bending your derailleur hanger anymore. You have these super beefy brakes, the disc brakes, and they have a lot of power. They are hydraulic disc brakes. What's really nice about the whole new Saint Grupo is the cranksets. They have these Holotech cranksets which are incredibly stiff. They're super strong, and they actually not as heavy as they look because they're hollow inside. And this will revolutionize free riding and mountain biking. The stuff works so smooth. I put it on, I ridden for 4 days all day long. I never even had to do an adjustment.
Hans Rey. This legend in the world of cycling gets his name by doing it all.
Yeah, Laguna Beach is home of a very special mountain biking club, the Laguna Rats, and it's kind of a fraternity style club. You cannot just join them. Although anybody can ride with the Rats, but in order to become a member you have to be voted in, and you only get voted in after you rode with them for a long time, or at least a year consistently. I've been a member for probably 16 or 17 years. But this year is the 20-year anniversary, and we have about 60 members. I would say 30 of them are active, and another like 15 or 20 moved away and they live out of town now. Well, the Rats kind of have this reputation as the Robin Hoods of mountain biking. You know, this underground, this most famous underground biking club in the world, they call them sometimes. And they have this hardcore reputation on one side, but on the other side, most of the Rats are well over 40 nowadays, and you know they haven't moved on with the whole freeride movement that they go now jumping off 20-foot cliffs and stuff. But they still ride every Wednesday. They ride hard. They've ridden a lot of these trails here in and around Laguna for 20 years. Well, we're here on top of the world in Laguna Beach. This is also the start of the Telonics, the Leaping Lizard downhill course, which is a very famous downhill course that starts up here and goes all the way down to Laguna Canyon. The record time is like, I think, a minute and 45 seconds. And we have this annual kind of underground race here, and people from all over the world come. Although it's not an official race, we just invite like some of the top riders, and we had like former world champions like a John Tomek or a Steve Peat here, a Brian Lopes or a Toby Henderson. And a lot of times in the old days, even the current world champions couldn't even ride in the top 5. The locals would take the podium for themselves. Yeah, my specialty or my background is the trials biking, where you ride up and over obstacles, you know, over rocks and logs, and you're not supposed to put your foot on the ground. But out of that I started to become more and more of a mountain biker and started doing cross-country rides and just ride with the Rats, and then I ended up kind of helping pioneer that whole freeriding movement, where you kind of combine the trials and downhill and dirt jumping skills into one thing, and you just basically have fun with it. And that's what we're kind of going to do on Telonics today. It's not the greatest freeride trail, it's just a really beautiful downhill trail, but we're just going to go there and have fun on the freeride bike. Well, let's go and check out Telonics, follow me. This course is legendary. It starts out with a really fast fire road where you go high speed, and you turn off that fire road into a section we call the sweeper. And there you go off the little waterfall where you go down this really rocky, steep descent to the Volkswagen Rock. It's this rock section where you get a little air and you ride down this big rock drop. There you take a little single trail with a little uphill to the top of the Ash Hill. The Ash Hill is the steepest part of the course, where you have 2 big drops. Come to a section we call the Sonic S with the 2 big berms. From there you go on to the tank trap. The tank trap is really rutted right now too, and from there it's a sprint to the finish line.
Hans has shown us what riding Laguna is all about. Maybe he'll just have to take us on his next adventure.